ID, call forwarding, call waiting, and call blocking.
I think it's time you cut the blue wire.
Cut the blue wire. Save up to $250 on your phone features with RevVoice. Get RevVoice. Save money.
F&M Chairman Michael Pintard resigns amid questions over his alleged involvement in the ongoing Nygaard-Bacon controversy. And the PLP chairman responds. Montague MP Richard Lightbourne questions the NIA's involvement in those Save the Bays emails. Plus, the Democratic and National Alliance speaking out over continued problems at the city dump. We've got those stories and a lot more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and MB12 starts right now. Tonight, Free National Movement Chairman Michael Pintard today tendered his resignation as both chairman of the party and a senator with immediate effect. His resignation comes amid growing speculation of his involvement in the Peter Nygaard-Louis Bacon ordeal that has been dominating news for nearly the past 2 weeks. Today, the party's leader accepted Pintard's resignation, saying he knows it's not because of guilt, but to protect his name. Kyle Joaquin has the story.
Michael Pintard has today volunteered his resignation to the party as its chairman and one of its senators.
Just hours after this headline was printed, Pintard must go, F&M Chairman Michael Pintard did just that. He resigned as F&M Chairman and Senator. But instead of doing any TV interviews, he took to Facebook to explain why. In a Facebook post, Pintard said, "I have decided to tenure my resignation as chairman of the Free National Movement and as an opposition senator effective immediately. The F&M and the PLP are different in how we approach governance and crisis." His resignation is just the last in the ongoing saga surrounding two billionaire neighbors, Peter Nygaard and Louis Bacon, an alleged murder plot involving members of environmental group Save the Bays, a trail of emails of which Pintard is attached, and questions of how much does he really know. But as the matter is now under police investigation, Pintard has stepped down. And in doing so, his party leader says it's not out of guilt, but simply a move to protect his name and integrity.
Mr. Pintard has done the proper thing in tendering his resignation. We likewise call for the Deputy Prime Minister to tender his resignation based on the affidavits that raise questions about his participation in the same matter involving Mr. Pintard.
And as news quickly began to spread via social media, it eventually made its way upstairs to the House of Assembly, where what should have been the mid-year budget debate turned into a heated back and forth between the F&M and the PLP, during which the PM got in a quick jab.
I'm told your chairman just resigned. I'm told your chairman just resigned. He knows why.
At one point, after repeated warnings to Fort Charlotte MP Dr. Andrew Rollins and other MPs, the Deputy Speaker of the House appeared to have had it.
Member, cut off his mic. Cut off his mic. Member, I am going to remove you from this house. Members, I'm standing. I am standing. I am standing. I am standing. Take your seat. 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 Remove. Listen, I can tell you right now. Member, take your seat. Take your seat or you will be removed. Take your seat. Take your seat.
But through all of the arguments during Monday morning's proceedings, there were still questions lingering that for the most part went unanswered. The Prime Minister said MPs must be careful with talking on the issue rather than attempting to grab headlines, as it is now under police investigation. And while responding to one F&M MP, he asked, what is it that the opposition wants him to do?
What are you asking me to do? Put a gun to his head? What are you asking me to do? Huh? What are you asking me to do is the question. I'm doing it the right way.
He said at the end of the day, the police investigation will determine if anyone should be charged. And after repeated allegations from the opposition that the government has been bought out by NYGARD,
Yet the most damning public relations, which is a lie being predicated against the Prime Minister, calculated to lower in esteem the Prime Minister in the eyes of the Bahamian people and the world.
No,
Whoever is responsible for it, Louis Bacon pays for it. Over don't tell me no, over $8.25 million.
Members.
I'm now told more than 8 now, over $20 million.
but again, there were many questions left unanswered, not just from the government, but the opposition as well. In this morning's National Review, it's reported that F&M leader Dr. Hubert Minnis met with Bobo and Togi, the two men identified in court documents as gang members who alleged NYGARD hired them to kill several members of Save the Bays. Just after the F&M's press conference Monday morning on Pintard's resignation, our news team attempted to question Minnis on it. However, no questions were allowed following the news conference, and the opposition leader left the building. Reporting for NB12, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Pintard's resignation comes a week after PLP Chairman Bradley Roberts had called for opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis to fire the senator over his involvement in what Roberts said amounts to the most dastardly and cowardly political act of the 20th and 21st centuries. Well, Roberts said at a press conference today, Pintard's resignation comes as no surprise, and he's blaming Minnis.
The Progressive Liberal Party is always saddened when young Bahamians involved in public life with seemingly much to offer have to demit office under such shameful and embarrassing circumstances. I have no reservations whatsoever in placing the fault and blame squarely at the feet of one Dr. Hubert Minnis.
Roberts said this is the second F&M chairman under the leadership of Dr. Minnis that has become embroiled in alleged acts of impropriety, and this reflects negatively on his leadership and ethical character. Roberts said, once again, Dr. Minnis's leadership was weighed in the balance and was found woefully wanting, and rather than be the solid and exemplary leader to his colleagues, Dr. Minnis failed miserably in the dispatch of his duty. And as a result, Mr. Pintard has become a casualty of an avoidable situation. Roberts hit out at Minnis over reports that he too met with the would-be criminals in question.
Further, new and inflammatory information that Dr. Minnis attended and participated in controversial meetings with the two young men of interest. Given the foregoing, I have no reservations in condemning Dr. Minnis for demonstrating incredibly poor judgment and rank complicity in this sordid affair. He had a responsibility to refer this entire matter to the appropriate authorities.
Roberts said Minnis must account to the Bahamian people about what he knew and when he knew it. And as for the opposition leader's call for the Deputy Prime Minister to resign, Roberts labeled that absolute nonsense, charging that the Deputy Prime Minister and the Prime Minister, although named in leaked recordings, were not involved.
The man who had Save the Bays made it abundantly clear that the Deputy Prime Minister or the Prime Minister was not involved in this matter, if you would recall. Am I not correct? Did he not say so? Did Mr. Bacon not also say so in his statement that he issued as well too? So you can see it's a nullity that Dr. Minnis has made such a request. It's absolute nonsense. If my memory serves me correct, and listen to the tape condemned, in my opinion, the former chairman of the F&M. It didn't condemn the Prime Minister. They were mentioning their names. Someone reminded me that I knew those two individuals because they lived in the constituency that I represent. But I don't know them by their nicknames. But if I see their faces, I probably recall them. And I'm sure that there being individuals around who is known. And I must say, I take their hat off to those guys for fleecing those fellas for all that kind of money. I hope they put it to good use for the people of Over the Hill community.
Montague MP Richard Lightbourne is questioning whether the National Intelligence Agency was the source of those private Save the Bays emails, while continuing to question why Prime Minister Perry Christie has not condemned Nygaard for making disparaging comments about the nation's leader. Giorgio Bain reports.
Member of Parliament for Montague Richard Lightbourne is calling for the source of those Save the Bay emails that were read inside the House of Assembly last week. Lightbourne says it's beyond reasonable doubt that the source could be the National Intelligence Agency.
Lightbourne questioned the relationship between the alleged multi-million-dollar donation made to the Progressive Liberal Party and the passive manner in which the PLP government allowed the foreign investor to speak about the party and the country.
Social media is filled with scandalous videos of Nygaard discussing his frustration with everyone, his neighbor Louis Bacon and Mr. Bacon's attorney Pericles Malis. Very particularly and alarmingly, he also describes his frustration with the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, in defamatory, degrading, and insulting terms. Transcripts of those conversations recorded on videos have been filed in the Supreme Court and quoted in social media and are no doubt circulated worldwide.
The NIA, which was established in August of 2012, is believed to be the source of the Save the Bay emails, according to Lightbourne.
I understand that many residents of the Bahamas find Mr. Nygaard's behavior and taste vulgar and unbecoming, and it would be difficult, Mr. Speaker, to disagree with the view of those who find his behavior offensive. Having seen some of the photos and videos of Mr. Nygaard, many of which were created and promoted by Mr. Nygaard and circulated on social media, I think I can empathize with some of those concerns.
Lightbourne called the government's move to involve the United States IRS and FBI in the investigation a bluff. However, Prime Minister Perry Christie says he will not personally address any remarks made about himself and his party, but will handle these issues through these proper channels.
For those representation, I don't even look to this, Mr. Speaker, I don't look to this House to help me here. This is a matter, Mr. Speaker, of law. It's a matter of relations with the United States of America.
Members.
Mr. Speaker, just let me say this.
There's a member on the floor, members.
Speaker, Mr. Speaker.
Members, the right honorable members on the floor, members.
Mr. Speaker, this is a matter that I'm dealing with in the right way as Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And this is a matter that will involve my office and my office acting, hopefully, properly and effectively.
Lightbourne asserts that the government is continuing to lie in bed with foreign investors such as Peter Nygaard and Louis Bacon.
The most important thing is perception. And this is the issue that I think the government neglects to address. That the perception is that you sit back and you allow someone to continue to speak disparagingly not only of the Prime Minister, not only of the Bahamas, but our judicial system. When you start talking of your judges as pinheads, what is wrong with this government? They continue to lie in bed with this man.
The investigation into these emails and recordings continue. Reporting for NB12, I'm Giorgio Bain.
A woman and a man are dead after Grand Bahama police discovered them, along with another woman, inside a white wooden structure, suffering from apparent gunshot wounds about the body. Police were called to the structure in an area between Hearn Lane and Bruce Avenue shortly after 11 a.m. One woman died at the scene, while the other two were taken to the Rand Memorial Hospital via ambulance, where the man succumbed to his injuries. The other woman is listed in serious condition. Police are actively investigating this matter and are appealing to anyone with any information to contact them anonymously at telephone numbers 350-3106 through 12, 919 or 911, or call your nearest police station. And here in New Providence, an armed suspect who was shot by police on Saturday died in hospital last night. According to reports, the man was being held on double murder and firearm charges. He was shot during an exchange of gunfire with officers this past Saturday at Greenwich Street off Mason's Way. He was transported to hospital where he was detained but died in hospital shortly before 6 p.m. the following day. Police say they recovered a handgun along with ammunition from the suspect at the scene. Her Majesty's coroner has commenced an investigation into the incident. When NB12 returns, leaders of the Democratic National Alliance say they are fed up with conditions at the New Providence landfill. Stay with us.
One loan.
One low payment.
That's right. Commonwealth Bank is here to help you consolidate and save. Once your loan is booked, you will receive a $100 gift card and automatically enter to win $5,000 cash. Not only can you get one low payment to help you breathe easier, but you could win $5,000 cash.
Our debt consolidation loans help you get more.
Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
KFC Nassau, serving up fresh from the sea flavor with the new Fisher menu, featuring the Fisher Sandwich, a tender, flaky fish fillet with our signature spicy boom boom sauce. Choose from the Fisher Sandwich, the Fisher Toasted Twister, or the Fisher and Chips. Get a combo with fries and a drink for just $7.99, VAT inclusive. These offers won't last long. Hurry in today. So good.
Evergreen Mortuary. Professionalism. Caring. Experienced. Affordable. Dependable. Compassionate. Committed. Evergreen Mortuary. Excellence in the services we provide.
What? Who you calling light? Click light. Seriously refreshing.
Lisa Ellis here reporting for another Fidelity moment.
Miss Fidelity. So me and my husband Harry just came back from lunch, right? And when we were finished, I pulled out my prepaid Visa card. And the waitress went to run our bill. And our bill was only $53.02. And you know this little girl tried to rob us? She tried to charge me $53.03. And honey, by the time she ran back to my table with this receipt, Fidelity already sent me an instant text alert.
And trust me, she carry on real bad about that 1 penny too. Trust me.
One? A penny saved is a penny earned.
Feel like eating something tasty that's good for you? Super Value can help you create the perfect meal when you visit the salad bars. Filled with all the nutritional choices that are good for you, our salad bars make the perfect lunch or snack, anytime and any day of the week. Eat smart, eat healthy. Join the lunch bunch at a Super Value salad bar, including the quality markets, including quality stamps. Super Value, the Bahamian supermarkets.
Serenity is a private residential development by Solomon Brothers Limited, providing the perfect opportunity for an affordable real estate investment in New Providence. Each model home is being designed specifically to capture the essence of island living. Feature amenities include a community clubhouse, separate adult and children's swimming pools, parks and tennis courts. For more information, visit our website today at serenitydevelopment.net or call us at 362-6032.
Welcome back. Democratic National Alliance leaders say they are fed up with the conditions at the New Providence landfill. While party leaders reflected on the controversial letter of intent matter that ensnared an MP last year, they noted Renew Bahamas may not be capable of managing the landfill. They said a waste-to-energy facility would solve all the issues. Simone Davis reports.
Party leader Branville McCartney said apart from the disturbing conditions at the landfill, he is still dumbfounded as to what transpired with the controversial confidential letter of intent that Bambootown MP Renwood Wells signed back in 2014 for a $600 million plus waste-to-energy plant at the landfill. McCartney said it is unacceptable that from then to now, the government still has no solid plans to construct a waste-to-energy facility at the dump.
It is unacceptable now for the government, through the Minister of Environment, to say that they have to go and see, after being in government for the last 4 years, that they're going to have to see what they're going to do in relation to making this site waste to energy. We are still dumbfounded as to what transpired a few years ago regarding this LOI, and when there was a company that was ready to move this facility to waste management.
McCartney was referring to Stellar Waste to Energy Bahamas Limited, the company that inked the deal with Wells to build the waste to energy plant at the landfill in 2014. That same year, SWTEB was caught at the center of a controversy involving the signing of a letter of intent by Wells, who at the time served as parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Works. Wells was fired for signing the LOI without authorization, and subsequently, McCartney was referring to Stellar Waste to Energy Bahamas Limited, the company that inked the deal with Wells to build the waste to energy plant at the landfill in.
Instead, we got a company, Renew Bahamas, that specializes in recycling. That's fine and dandy, but that does not help the fires. And we have not heard anything, or we don't know whether or not they are responsible for the fires and containing those fires or otherwise. The only thing we hear from them is that it's arson. Well, it's been arson since they've started, and that's unacceptable.
Deputy Leader Chris Mortimer said the current condition of the landfill is a result of both the government and the opposition's inaction to rectify the situation over the course of about 4 decades. He said the answer to the ongoing landfill fire outbreaks is a waste-to-energy facility, something he says would be implemented within 100 days of his party becoming the next government of the Bahamas.
We commit to, within the first 100 days of coming to office, we will put out a new RFP for the construction of a state-of-the-art waste-to-energy facility at this site, starting with at least 85 megawatts of power. We will structure a deal in the form of a public-private partnership with a component that deals specifically with an IPO for the Bahamian people. And lastly, we will commit to our utilities being Bahamian-owned.
He added that Bahamian groups would be allowed to fully participate in the request for proposal. Speaking with a Stellar representative today, NB12 understands that the company intends to submit a proposal amid other contenders should the DNA's plan come to fruition.
The DNA leader also questioned why would the government implement national health insurance without dealing with the issues at the landfill first, which he claims is causing most of the health implications today.
If you intend to introduce national health insurance, don't you think that at the end of the day you should fix a problem that is causing health concerns to our people? If you intend to open Bahama just across the way, this dump has to be fixed.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.